Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. It means the world. If you would like to make a difference in this space, I would really appreciate you giving this video a thumbs up, which you can do so somewhere down this area, or head over to my channel, and if you catch the vibe I'm putting out, please go and subscribe. It truly does mean the world to me. As always, and as I say in every single video, that perfection cannot exist within this space. And today the video may be a little bit longer, but in order for me to really take the time to share the messages that I'm really needing to, it's simply not something I can rush. I noticed how I had been sort of prioritizing the need to just like get videos out, and with adding in like pretty intros and stuff, it made the upload almost impossible. Whereas if I just stick to showing up and doing it on my phone and uploading it straight to YouTube, it means that I can do them a bit longer, which I'm a long format girl, I think, so it works best for me. And I think, honestly, it's been like accommodating the needs of others a little bit too, thinking, well, people might not want to watch videos that are, you know, 30, 40, 50 minutes long. But I'm just accepting that this might just be who I am, that my videos are just a bit longer, and if you're here and you enjoy what I have to say, then you probably won't mind. I do want to quickly note that I got sea monkeys the other day. Now, sea monkeys are, they're brine shrimp, but I remember growing up and my auntie had like the figurines of them, and ever since I was little I've always wanted to like give them a go and buy them. And we went to Time Zone the other day and they had them, and so I was able to bring my sea monkeys home. I'm a sea monkey mom now. They haven't hatched yet and I don't know if they will, but I'll keep you up to date with my little brine shrimp babies. Anyhow, I also wanted to touch base a little bit from my last video, and maybe I didn't explain it. I again was rushing a little bit, but I pick up on collective energy quite early. So what it is that I speak about, like it gives me the ability to sort of move through that energy, and then share guidance that'll be relevant for you guys in the here and now as you're seeing this video. I've had such wonderful feedback from the previous video, and I'm just really glad that it resonated. I was definitely nervous about posting it, and I'm still trying to navigate how I feel about channeling these different beings now and embracing them and embodying their messages in my life. So you're really along this journey with me. So good fun. So again, I know I probably don't need to apologize, but it is the best way that I can get sort of what I want to say out, which is I've got some scripted things that I will be reading, so you will notice me looking down. But again, it's the words that matter. It's how I say it more so that matters, rather than how I'm looking or if I'm not looking, if that makes sense. So the first thing I really wanted to talk about this week is that I sent some messages to a friend that I think could be of support to other people watching this. These messages pretty much sum up all that I've been sort of navigating through in the past week. And so I want to share the parts that I was really impressed with that came out of me. So I have screenshotted them, I've put them down, and I want to read them with you. So I'm really starting to embody my truth that each of my connections around me with others are as unique as that person. I'm finding that I've found a real fluidity to me that brings me a lot of joy and excitement that I'm having fun embracing at this point in my life. I'm noticing that those around me are also embracing and encouraging this, which is supporting my journey into self-worth and gaining a new sense of confidence and expressing all my forms of self. I've just got so many new layers unraveling and revealing themselves, and I'm trying to find space in my life where these new aspects of how I want to express myself and express what I love can come forward. And I think the reason I'm talking about this is that you're most likely going to start feeling that there are people around you that just simply are not in that same sort of energy, you know? And it's important, I think. I'll keep reading, it makes sense. Where was I? I also appreciate myself so much more because of this, which makes me far less judgmental on myself and far more loving and understanding towards others, which makes a lot more room for compassion and acts of love to take place. So doing things because you actually really feel called to and embraced to, rather than just doing things for people now because it's sort of like, well, I have to, or it's the right thing to do. I think we're just noticing a little bit more where our energy should be placed and the sort of changes that are happening within each individual connection, relationship, partnership, collaboration that we have. There's just big shifts happening. And ultimately those big shifts are happening because actually it's shifts that are happening internally, which I will explain a little bit more as I keep reading down. So the fluidity for me is really helping me to let go, to love the people that are in my life for however long I get to love them, and understanding that they are either a lesson or a learning as each of them are in mine. So again, I think the biggest thing is just for people right now to understand that sometimes people are going to have to shift and change, and they may separate from your life, or they may distance, or they may, every individual is going through such a big individual change right now. And I just think fluidity and allowing people to have the space that they need and to make the changes that they really feel desired to do just helps you to be more compassionate and stay in love with them for however long you have them in your life, but also accepting that they may shift out, and that's okay, that is life. It's much easier to trust the intuition and lead with the heart than it is to fight the natural flow that is seeking to take place right now. It is our attachment to things that is such a weight in this experience, which I'm finding that this has been a big thing for me for a majority of my life. When I love people, I really struggle to let go, even when like my intuition and everything around me is like, you need a bit of space, or like you need to separate yourself to really feel into this and give yourself the time and energy that you need to move forward. So these are all things, again, like I said, that I've been sort of moving through the past week, but I can see that this is happening and playing out in the collective now, which is why I'm sharing these messages, because I'm sure that there will be some little key points in here that will support you moving forward over these next coming months. I am finding it much easier to be thankful in the present moment instead of constantly feeling the need to rush, which brings me into like my second point of conversation. But yeah, rush and it's rush, that's all I can say. Rush is a red flag. Rush is a red flag. Okay, so I've been watching so many YouTube video readings lately, and I'm just absorbing all the little messages, and I've applied that to how I've been feeling, what I've been shifting through, and I've sat down and kept notes throughout the last week that I knew would eventually probably really align for me to share. So that's what I'm about to do. Move through a list of things that I feel people this week really need to hear. Do you hear that noise? I also want to make note that some of these messages will be very, very direct. So some of them will be very specific to some people, and some of them might not be for you. So just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But we'll get there. So I know for so many people that the past week has been full throttle into change, some uncertainty, and honestly quite a bit of overwhelm. I do believe that we are slowly shifting out of this energy now and into more balance, but the main guidance that I'm about to share is how ultimately you can sort of support yourself over the coming week and the coming months, as I feel that this energy that we're sort of shifting through, it is going to linger a little bit over the coming months while we are really shifting into the new aspects of ourselves and allowing these new aspects to come forward and be seen. So the first thing I want to talk about is spiritual awakening, which is basically what is, I think, happening for a lot of people in the collective and individually. I've written DNA shifts, which I think to me is really just about expecting changes in the way that your body is feeling. So you might be getting more migraines. You may also be getting aches and pains in the body. The gut might be playing up. You might have the runs for a few days. Sorry if you didn't want to hear that, but it is very, 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 very common. Very common. The guidance with this is to keep grounded, and there is a whole heap of other stuff in here that I will read out, so just bear with me. But ultimately, the way that we move forward this is there's no pushing, there's no pulling or anything, just being grounded, trusting what it is that your body's asking of you, and resting, drinking lots of water. Please drink lots of water. This bitch has been hydrated like a motherfucker. My little ADHD soul, if you give me a drink bottle and it's got my name on it, or you give me something that's exciting, I will drink so much water. Anyway, came up $19. I have drank the full bottle of this for almost a week now, and I am feeling glowing. I'm feeling hydrated. I'm ready to go. Yesterday I was actually really sluggish and slow, so there have been days. Don't let me talk shit on here, okay, guys? Catch me out. Cool. Okay. And then there's the energy of rush. So rushing, being rushed, it's a reminder that timing is everything and it always works out exactly as it needs to. I notice that I am such a rusher, and it'll be like rushing my partner. It'll be like, oh, come on, man, like you're taking too long. Or me rushing myself, not just taking the time to slow down and speak about what I want to speak about, or rushing others to reply, rushing others to understand. It's just about trusting the timing of your life. And quite often it's very easy to go, well, if I don't push or I don't do something, then it's not going to happen, or I'm going to miss out. And it's false truth. You will be fine. You're actually better off slowing down and not rushing and not trying to force things that aren't ready to be received, than picking up bits of things that aren't necessarily going to be, how am I saying this? It's like your prize at the end of this is much more than you could have ever expected. But if you keep picking up the little gravelly bits, you're missing out on like the big thing that is actually waiting for you just around the corner, But just the need even to be aware of when you're rushing, or the energy of rush, or if someone else is rushing you to do something, to be like, red flag, I'm going to slow down. If you notice that you are rushing someone, just check in with yourself. Do I need to rush this person right now? What is it achieving? Would it be much more loving if I just didn't, and I just let them do things at their own pace? And ultimately, that's going to bring up things for people as well, because there'll be some people who won't do it, and you'll have to readjust the relationship and readjust your needs and readjust the situation, okay? But the energy of rush, so that's another big one this week. Karmic justice is another one. Things have felt very muddled and unclear for a long time, but it's important that you know that Spirit is letting you know that this lesson for you, whatever it is coming to an end. We are on the precipice of change. That's why this video is about change and hope, but all these little things like mix in with it. For a long time, people have felt disorientated and desperate for direction and grasping for meaning, and also looking for solid ground with a lack of clarity, which I think also sort of talks about the energy of rush that I was saying as well, is that we're rushing and forcing and we're going through this karmic justice lesson of like needing to just like let what needs to happen. Because how we have been, or how we've been trying to see things and trying to grasp our clarity in the next part has come from a very ungrounded, disorientated space, which many of you, if you're hearing this, I'm sure you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, and maybe how you've felt for the last couple of months. Could be even a couple of years. I know for me, the last couple of years have felt disorientating and haven't really felt very in flow with what actually brings me happiness and joy. So Spirit asks us to embrace the discomfort, knowing that you're actually better off through moving through this. Coming out the other side with truths that have maybe been hidden and new experiences for your creativity, but also within like clairvoyant visions, and just, I think, the way in which we experience spirit and the way that we express spirit is all changing. So with all of this, it's really important to understand that there are elements of self-care and independence that are also starting to weave their way in. We are starting to really learn mastery of things that we have maybe been doing for quite some time. This won't be for everyone, but mastery is a word for a certain set of people here. You are now moving into mastering these skills and these lessons and these learnings that you have been embodying and embracing, and that have been traveling along with you for a few years. It's time to start accepting only the best for your life. And that is going to look different for everyone that's watching this, and different for everyone in life. But it's time that you start getting really clear with what your best life looks like and feels like. And all of these, I've still got a few more to read, but I really just want to say that I just need to, I need to express that this past week for me has felt is very strange. That sometimes there just aren't words to put on it. And these are the best words that I can come up with to offer some guidance. But you guys will be okay, and you will shift through this. It's all happening actually like divinely for you. There's no, you're not heading down some, like 12 steps back from all the hard work you've put in. This is for you. It's just like a final like cleanse, a final release, so that you can really allow in what needs to happen, and also who you need to be in this next part of your life. Like there's things like people pleasing that just cannot fucking come with you. They just cannot. Like it's draining. Even talking about draining, people that are draining cannot come with you. Spirit is really helping to just like yeet everyone and everything that isn't going to work. You just have to breathe through it and embrace what is happening. Yeah, so protection, obviously with all of this as well, when energy gets a little bit chaotic, and it is a little bit chaotic at the moment while this new change is taking place. It's like the Tower card, things have to kind of come down and crumble, and it feels like, oh, fuck, before it gets better. But there are also aspects of ourself that needs to be kept protected, a need for keeping some parts of your life sacred. Many of you will now begin to feel who doesn't feel like a safe harbor for your hopes and dreams. And you're also going to start to see who really embraces and encourages these new aspects of yourself coming through. Right now, many of us are picking up on the shadows and projections of others. So it's important that we take nothing personally, but trusting when the energy is off and not needing to know why. This is a lesson I've been learning for a long time. It's that whenever my intuition's like, hey, you got to just give yourself some space from this person. It's like, but why? Can you please give me some clear directions as to what has happened? And then I will. It never works. It always ends up turning into like an argument, or something comes up that just really doesn't have to happen, never needed to happen. But yeah, trusting when the energy is off and not needing to know why. It comes back into that fluidity. To just be able to let go of the things that we cannot maybe necessarily control, knowing that actually what is about to step in is much more aligned for you. It doesn't mean that some of these things don't hurt. It doesn't mean that some of these things aren't confusing and conflicting and downright like, ugh. But then we move forward on to the next one, which is intentions. So needing to set intentions with everyone and everything moving forward. And this is including the intentions you set for yourself through your words and actions. Because right now, I think many of us are going to start to really feel the toxic presence of, I just want to say the presence of toxicity within many of our relationships, our thoughts, our speech, and our environments. This is not something, again, to be like, oh my God, I've got to do quickly, like work on heaps of this. Spirit is sort of reminding us that there is a cycle of purification and detoxification taking place right now. You can support yourself through just breathing, through the inhalation of like loving, supportive energy and the exhale of things that are not supporting the body. And then the last thing is divination of all things around us. So I think I touched base on this last week, but like messages are in everything. And I think the biggest sort of message I want to share at this point is like, you're not silly for seeing your life as like one big moving prayer, or wanting it to, or looking at the trees and hearing messages from them about the seasons and about how you can relate that to the own seasons of your life, or the cycles of your life, or the birds and what the messages that they have to share. The way that a piece of music will touch your heart in a certain way, and knowing that that is activating a part within your heart chakra. You're not silly. Like, these are very real things that are taking place. And maybe you've been around people, or even like just for yourself, this is like a new part of you really believing it and really owning this. Or maybe you've never understood this before and you're starting to have these experiences. I'm really here to push unto you that you are not silly, that it is not real, or it's not happening to you. Even if other people can't see it, or you can't quite understand it yourself at the moment. But divination is in everything around us, and the world speaks to us. The universe speaks to us. Our guides are speaking to us. Nature is speaking to us. Music is speaking to us. Art is speaking to us, so that it can speak through us eventually in whatever revenue it needs to for you. So my third point of conversation, which is, I think, more a little bit about the hope and the change. I try to stay clear of politics, but with New Zealand just voting in a new government, and after hearing how many people are so fearful about this, and all the little memes and all the little pictures of like what they're going to do, what this new government's going to do, and how it's going to fuck New Zealand, and how it's going to do all of this, blah, 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 I find it very necessary to add in a different perspective. So the day after the elections, when I woke up, I actually felt extremely hopeful for the first time in a long time. It's the energy of change. The feeling that new beginnings are arriving, whether we like it or not, whether we don't know exactly how it's going to play out, it's arriving in the collective and in our personal lives. Over the coming weeks, we will need to focus on staying grounded within ourselves. The blurred vision and uncertainty is going to take some time to balance itself out. But this change taking place in New Zealand, it feels like a new leap of hope into evolution, both on a personal scale and a collective one, like I said. To me, it's the energy of expansion. I think there's an element where this new government, or Christopher Luxon, I really feel like there's a push outwards, that it's like trying to get New Zealand more out on the map, to give New Zealanders the more opportunities to thrive and to scale up, and to make the most of what this beautiful country has to offer. And I don't doubt that with that is going to come with change that not everyone is going to agree with, or it's not going to flow with everyone. But it's change, and change is inevitable. And I think what I'm basically trying to say is, like, through this, if you can lean into the aspect of hope rather than fear, it's going to be a very different experience for you. So my question is that do you want to stay in the timeline that is currently showing itself to you, which a lot, I'm presuming you're seeing a lot of the fear mongering through the media and just the media drama itself and through the TV and the radio, or do you want to create a new vision? So this week it's time to go inwards, or whenever it is that you find this video. If you can't reply or give energy to people or things that maybe you have been able to before, just be kind to yourself and trust that this is the right call for you. It's still that sort of hermit, cave, tower energy that is lingering a little bit. And for many of you that are seeing it, you might be full force into that at the moment. It will shift. It will clear. Just remembering that this is really for you. It really, really, really is. It won't be around much longer, but you are being, the reason why it's coming up from what I've picked up on is that we are being asked to step up and out in completely new ways. So all the things, the parts of ourselves that are really preparing to help amplify us in the next chapter, or help us to share our vision or our word or the love or the guidance or whatever it is, the art, the creation, the music that supports sharing your expression of self or spirit. This is what this energy is helping us to really step into. And this will be over, not even just over the next coming weeks. It'll be probably till the new year. The energy is sort of coming into that new year. So continue to lean into the gentleness of yourself and honoring where it is that you, like what parts of yourself are seeking to come out now. The stillness of not needing to rush or not needing to push, or the stillness of just being with yourself and your own thoughts. When these curls come out, it does my head in. You can go at the back where no one can see you. And the celebration of your role here, which is ultimately, again, like celebrating your life and your uniqueness and your purpose here. Celebrating your worth and how deserving you are of having these dreams and these visions and these experiences come to fruition, to reality. And just how different like you are here to be, you know, that maybe you're also noticing that at this time in our life, there are people around us who are stuck by their own limitations of maybe what the world has taught them or told them is truth. But you're not here to do that. You're actually here to pave a new path for people to follow if they seek to. One where it isn't out of flow and it isn't out of rush or it isn't out of frustration. It's out of love. It's out of compassion. It's out of service for others. And it's ultimately for making the change in the world that we need. And bringing people together in unity. That really is, I think, the vibe of what Spirit's trying to do here. I also can't disclude what's happening in the world right now, but ultimately, again, I feel like this is why we're being called so deeply on an individual level in these different parts of the world that can, because we are a little bit more sheltered right now from what is going on, is that we're being asked to really cultivate that connection with ourselves so that we can truly believe the prayers that we're sending out. We can truly believe the frequency of change and healing and peace that we are wanting to send out in meditation. So the next thing is expressing yourself. And what is upcoming is more creative flow. It supports you in expressing the gifts that you have, expressing the gifts that you are starting to maneuver around and bring forward. But ultimately, this is like a message to remind you that you're an artist with a phenomenal ability to create your life with love and with light. And your next step is that you're being encouraged to paint, to write, to sing, to laugh, to dance, to bring your loving experience and expression forward. And again, it is going to look different for everyone. But over these coming weeks, while we are sort of purging and releasing and realigning and finally letting go of a whole bunch of toxicity and things that are in our life, it is helping to create, that's what I wanted to mention, For a lot of people within the spiritual awakening aspect as well, your body is moving through different levels of vibration. Higher levels of frequency are sort of you're meeting halfway, right? You're traversing through different realms. Where was I going with that? There was a point of saying that. Traversing through different realms. I think it was about like the body, like body changes. I can't remember. It'll come up again at some point. But it honestly does feel like so many of us have like grand, I'm talking like very grand celebrations to look forward to in the coming months and heading into this new year. But we must remember that what we put out comes back. So it comes back down to if you are amplifying the energy of love and expansion and support and kindness and compassion, that's going to come back to you tenfold. If you are sitting in a place of fear, of uncertainty, of sadness, of hatred, of anger, unfortunately, my friend, until you shift out of that cycle, that is the energy that is going to be returned to you. So please use the energy of this week, or whenever you find this, take it seriously, use it wisely, trust yourself, lean into love, have fun, maybe get some sea monkeys, tap into the things that the childlike parts of yourself want to experience now, and slow down, don't rush. Everything is happening exactly as it needs to. And as I always say, just thank you for spending this time with me. I know we're heading into past 30 minutes. I'm actually really happy with how I've sat here and spoken about some of these things. I feel like I have sort of gotten everything I wanted to get out. There will always be something I'll be like, after I push thing, I'll be like, damn, could have fucking spoken about that. But it is what it is. I've really enjoyed this, and I'm going to continue to show up every week, just letting life guide me. As I said, I am on Patreon. I am working my way through maybe different offers and stuff I'd like to bring in eventually, but as with everything else and as what I've been saying, if the full clarity isn't there, or I feel like I'm having to push to understand what services and offers I want to bring out, it's just not the time. It's not the right time, and to continue placing that energy into other things that bring me joy in this present moment. But it is on my mind. It is something that I do seek to bring out for you guys. But you can go and subscribe and follow me on Patreon or on Instagram. There are other ways to connect with me, and I drop all of that in the link in my video bio. But as I said, we're getting to the end, so I'm slurring my words. I'll see you next week for another video. If you have enjoyed this and you have watched this far through, please do give it a like. Please do subscribe. If you want to share this video on your Instagram or any other platforms you have, I would love that. I may not be able to see the tag since I'm not actually active on social media, but I would still appreciate it. So anyway, team, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope there has been some little nuggets of love in here that you can take, and that may support whatever you are navigating now. Know that you are loved, know that you are supported, know that you are guided. Yeah, love you. Bye.